So how much do real estate agents charge? We'll cover that today on Frequently Asked Friday. What is going on, party people? Today we are going to cover the age-old question, how much commission do real estate agents charge? Let's get into it. Okay, so one required disclosure I'm going to give you before we get into the meat of the episode is that real estate agent commissions are not fixed, so I cannot tell you what any and every real estate agent would or has charged. I can only tell you what we charge to our clientele, okay? So historically speaking, all real estate commissions are also paid by the seller, the person selling a home. And I always tell clients, if we really break it down, there's really two commissions being paid, or there's two halves of the singular commission being paid, however you want to say that. So the first half of the commission, or the first commission being paid, is what is being paid to the listing agent, the agent that is representing the seller. Okay, so for us, what we charge our clientele is we charge them 3% for what we do on our side to represent them. This is for all of the staging consultations, the pictures, the videography, the marketing, the time, energy, and effort that we put into helping our client not only get their home on the market, but get it sold and then carry them through the process up until closing. Okay, so then you have, so that's one half of the equation. The second half of the equation is what is going to be offered to a prospective buyer's agent, and that kind of makes up the second half of that commission equation. So, all right, so the second commission, or the second half of the commission, is what is being offered out to a prospective buyer's agent. So this is the commission, this is the incentive that's offered out or marketed to the over 7,000 plus agents that work the Central Virginia area, that may be able to bring us a prospective buyer. So what we really got to understand about this portion of the commission, this is an incentive for these agents to bring their buyer clients to the property and to compensate them for their time, their energy, their money, their investment that they've spent to not only work with that buyer, but to more importantly, bring them to your property. So one thing that you also got to understand is based on NAR studies, the National Association of Realtors, approximately 90% of all sales year over year, the number changes slightly throughout the years, but it pretty much has stayed consistent for decades now. About 90% of all buyers have a buyer's agent. And to be honest with you, in Central Virginia, I would say that number is probably a little bit higher. Of the 400 plus homes that I've sold, I can probably count on one hand the amount of transactions that we've actually consummated where a buyer does not have a buyer's agent that is representing them. So the next natural question is, hey, are these fees negotiable? And I would answer that with yes and no, which is everybody's least favorite answer to any question. So what I tell clients, our 3% is pretty much fixed. And the reason we don't negotiate that is because we figured out a process that works. We figured out a process that historically has been successful getting our clients' homes sold. We don't like to discount our fee because we also don't like to discount or change the services that we offer because we've got a recipe that we found that just works. Now, the flexibility that we offer to our clientele is what they want to offer to a prospective buyer's agent, right? So historically in Metro Richmond, so we charge 3% historically, and we're pretty much in line with the market average of what agents charge in Metro Richmond. And then the other side of that equation is what we offer to a buyer's agent. The market average is 3% for what's being offered to a buyer's agent, and we recommend to our clientele that they offer that market average of 3% to a prospective buyer's agent. The reason being, we want to properly incentivize the marketplace. We want to properly incentivize the agents in the marketplace with the lion's share of buyers to bring those buyers to our property and for them to be able to get their clients to offer you a great price for your home. So a couple thoughts if you decide that you want to offer less than that 3%, okay? We got to understand the buyer's agents in the marketplace are the ones that have the greatest amount of influence over their buyer to give you the best price for your home, because ultimately it's the buyer that decides what they want to offer you. Now, that agent can influence that. Myself as the listing agent or a member of my team can influence the buyer's agent who can ultimately influence the buyer. But keep in mind, the greatest influencer usually with the buyer is going to be the agent that they are directly working with, AKA the buyer's agent. So we want to properly incentivize these people. We talked about the historic norm is 3%, and just realize that if you are offering less than that 3%, you are essentially incentivizing those agents representing buyers to potentially go and sell somebody else's property. Now you may say to yourself, hey, they shouldn't do that. That's unethical. They should sell the property that their client wants to buy. I would tell you, just like you don't want to pay the full commission, agents don't want to take less than their normal paychecks, and people are people, and if they can make more money selling somebody else's property, they're more likely going to do so. So that was real estate agent commissions explained. If you have any questions we didn't cover, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below, shoot me a direct message. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next week.